What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, I usually go for ones with toffee bits. Salted caramel. Yeah, salted caramel or toffee, that territory.
Who or what has been the biggest help in your creative business?
The Who is this fantastic sound designer called John Everett, who really showed me how to sort of expand the way I program this software called QLab. Before that, I was really stabbing in the dark and trying to work out how to put these separate sounds together, bodging it, and then John just showed me this fantastic system, and he's a lovely, lovely man, very brilliant technical sound designer. And I sort of came along from working as a composer, and then he showed me how I can find a really creative way to do sound design from like a programming perspective. So that's the Who, and then the What is probably the Wardrobe Theatre in Bristol has just been a real sort of supportive venue, and the Wardrobe Theatre, for anyone who doesn't know, it's in the back of the Old Market Assembly. It has a lovely community of artists and contributors to their shows, and I play for Closer Each Day, which has a residency there. It's an improvised soap opera, but I've also worked for them making music for their alternative adult Christmas shows. But it's just a lovely venue, and yeah, if you haven't been, you should go and check it out.
Cinema or live performances?
Cinema is to theatre like a recording, like an album is to a live gig. I think I prefer like an album over a live gig because it's perfectly mixed and you get like this full experience. An engineer has crafted it so you can hear all the little bits. There's something magic about a live performance, but I prefer listening to a CD. When it comes to film, I do love film, but when you go and see an amazing piece of theatre, there's just nothing quite like it. Like the buzz of the audience and the the performers, and like you create this atmosphere that's just like you just can't get that in the cinema. I prefer a recorded CD, but over a live gig. But I think the magic of an amazing theatre show is really hard to surpass, even with an amazing film.
What do you love most about what you do?
I love how varied it is. Actually, I'm a composer and a sound designer, and sometimes it's both jobs together, and sometimes it's very much one job with somebody else taking the other role. But it's very varied. Sometimes I'm working really, really quickly, and I have to like produce music kind of in like half an hour to come up with an idea to see if it's going to work for the show. That's often when I'm working on a devised show where there's no script and we're writing it as we go. And then sometimes I've got a lot of time to work on it. I did this production called Wendy at the Egg Theatre in Bath, and we had a long time, and I made lots of different ideas, and it was a very long process. And then at the moment, I've got this project where it's very technical, and I'm just responsible for somebody else's sound, doing quite a technical job of programming it being played back. So it's creative, but it's much more technical. So I just love the variety. Sometimes I do a lot of work on children's theatre, and that has its own flavour. Like you have to make it playful and fun and engaging. And then I made the show called Drac and Jill, which is like an alternative drag sort of comedy horror show. And there were moments there where we were really trying to make it as scary as we possibly could. It's always different.
What's your airport tradition if you have one?
It depends on the time of day. But I think if it's an evening and I'm with a friend, we'll probably try and like get an overpriced pint in the pub in the airport. Because that's just, there's something about this thing of an airport where you're letting go of your normal life and like getting into holiday mode. But then if it's like early morning, maybe I go for a coffee. And then one time I landed in the airport on like an all night flight, and I was like I just got a breakfast, some kind of food or drink in the airport. I think is that would be my tradition if there is
Same.
one.
What's the hardest lesson you've learned in doing your creative work?
Getting quite stressed. Like I really care about making the best possible show. I think a few years ago, I was just really getting stressed. I came to this sort of realization that all you can do is try as hard as you can. You can't make every show the best possible show you've made. All you can do is your best. When you love your job because it's a creative job, there is a bit of a work-life balance thing that can be a bit of a challenge. You sort of end up thinking about the show and the music and like how are we going to make it better, like as you're trying to get to sleep, and then you're waking up in the morning and you're like, have I done this with the sound? Is there something more I could do? Oh, I haven't left myself enough time to do this. And actually, all you can do is your best. That was a good lesson. And then another one is I had got my hopes up to work on one of the Wardrobe Theatre Christmas shows. And this was before I'd done any of the shows I've now done there. Somebody else got the job and they were brilliant and it was a fantastic show. But I really felt this kind of disappointment that it wasn't me. I realized that you might want to do a project, and you might feel like it's right for you, but stuff will eventually come up that's actually even better. And that not doing that show led to loads of other experiences, and actually sort of indirectly led to me meeting John Everett. I would never have ended up working with him if I'd got that job. So in the end, it worked out really well.
What's your favorite song right now?
Ah, oh, that's a hard question. I suppose I really love this track called Blue Angels by the Fearless Flyers. There's no singing, it's just incredibly pared down. It's like a sort of Wolfpack associated supergroup. Nate Smith on the drums, Corey Wong on the guitar, Mark Lettieri from Snarky Puppy, the other guitarist, and then Joe Dart on the bass. It's four of them, so funky, you cannot help but move. A friend of mine said that like if funk was a crime, this song would definitely be illegal. Like it's so funky. Yeah, so check it out.
What do you wish more people knew?
Oh, good question. Okay, I know the answer though. I wish that more people understood the difference between a million and a billion. Because when people say, oh, they're millionaires and billionaires, there's an enormous difference. The amount that a billion is and a billionaire has is unfathomably large. And I think the existence of billionaires is in itself a failure of governments, because a million seconds is 11 days, but a billion seconds is 33 years. So it's just like, it's such a high number. Billionaires shouldn't exist, basically.
Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Jack Drewry, just my name. You can come and see Closer Each Day, the improvised soap opera that's on every other Monday night at the Wardrobe Theatre. And you can listen to the podcast that I've made for kids. It's called The Seekers Podcast, and it's by the Wardrobe Ensemble, who are a theatre company. We've got 21 episodes of this sort of adventures, and I'm a voice in it, but I also write a song each episode. Thank you.